everybody, welcome to Impossible Coin. Um, Coming to us live from a place where we get confirmation that hell is real. Taking Somerset.
Yeah, still there. Sure
Okay.
is still here.
And also from America's armpit? Wait, what is
America's chest cavity, actually.
America's chest cavity. America's center mass.
The Heartland.
Mm-hmm.
From America's center mass, Rocky Hardy.
That's me.
And I'm out here from America's unshampooed crotch, Arizona. And I am Brian Cartwright.
Hey, Brian.
What it is, y'all. What it
Money.
is. So, we have not gathered as a unit since that most important holiday, that most vital seasonal occurrence, which
Halloween.
just makes me grateful for everything, which is the annual launch of the third expansion for Hearthstone.
Oh yeah, how's that going? New cards, right?
Yeah. It's got a whole Western vibe. It's a Western themed expansion.
Okay.
There's two new keywords. The keywords are quick draw and excavate.
Okay.
And both are fun. Cards which have quick draw on them have a bonus effect if you play them the same turn that you draw them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there are cards which perform an act called excavating. The idea being that you're mining, and the further you excavate, the greater the treasures that you return. And different things can like trigger excavation, and some classes have access to legendary excavation treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, well, howdy, some of them sure are annoying.
I'm actually really interested because I when you said both of those things, I thought excavate was just going to be like a garden variety like search, which I actually didn't know whether or not Hearthstone really has as like a tool. But
yeah, it's called
excavate. I'm glad that it's just like its own like mini game, which is cool. But also, quick draw is a thing that like Hearthstone is uniquely poised to do because you can't do that with the TCG because otherwise, like the quick draw like effect in truth would have to function on the honor system, which is a thing. But like it's way better that like Hearthstone can like earnestly check whether or not you drew and played the card on the same turn. So I'm interested.
Yeah. No, it's neat. It's neat. And also, like, I do like this time of year in Hearthstone, which is when we have the most.
Shake-up?
I was gonna say the most legal expansions.
Okay.
The next thing that will happen is, the change of the year, which means that like 3 expansions will get moved into wild status and move out of legal rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it's the at the end of the year, you've got 6 legal expansions because you've got 2 full years worth of expansions, and you can get up to some bullshit.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and I very much enjoy it. Yeah, it is a good time. I have started playing some definitely pretty silly decks. The Warlock class has a legendary excavate treasure, and it is a minion, and that minion's battle cry is take 10 health from your opponent and add it to your own health total. Now,
That's insane.
That sounds mean.
okay.
No, it's fucking mean. Holy shit.
Can you kill someone with that?
Yes, you can.
Amazing!
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And for my final move, I will simply remove the last of your life points, and they are mine, Yugi. Haha.
Yeah, and it's not just talking about like doing damage to them. It's reducing their overall health total.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
wait, like, okay, hold on. So like, I don't remember how much it is, but let's say they have 20 of 20 health. So like, if you get that that excavated like minion or whatever, its battle cry, when it goes off, does it turn their total to like 10 of 10, and so they can't get above 10 anymore?
That's the one.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That's insane. That's outrageous, actually.
It is.
It sounds like a delight for the person playing it.
Yeah,
well, obviously, yeah. But like for everyone else?
Well, fuck everyone else.
Oh my God.
Welcome and feed them beans.
Yeah.
Jesus
the good times. The good times.
What's the counterplay?
There.
What do you do about that? Like, can you do anything about it?
I mean, there's a couple different things. Like, one, it takes a while to get them to like pop it off, and also like, Hearthstone, your health total is 30.
Yeah.
And so like, if you want to be a real fuckmo, like the move is trying to find a way to get that card back into your hand so you can have that battle cry pop off again.
Right.
Yeah. And so like, there's a couple different things you could do. You can try to like rush down your opponent before they have a chance to do it.
Sure.
Another thing that you can do, which is super fun, is you can try to you can play something like Warrior, where you're like, you've acquired so much like armor, and so like when it removes health from you, you're like,
it doesn't matter because they can't break through the armor anyway.
Exactly. You're like, whatever, fine. You're like, I've got like fucking 70 armor. Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay, for sure.
Yeah. So like they're like, so like this is a time of year that I would like, because like there's a bunch of crazy goofy shit, but there are like counter strategies available because there's just such a depth.
Right.
And I like that. Man.
Actually, hold on. I want to mention this just real quick. So there's a new League of Legends character that's been like revealed. Their name is Hui, and like they're kind of like a painter sorcerer. Like and their thing is that in League of Legends you have 4 buttons, right? Well, essentially like 4 like buttons unique to your character. Q, W, E, and R. And Hui has the ability where when you press one button, it changes the other 3 buttons, allowing you like 2 like spell combos essentially. So like QW is like a spell, while WQ is a spell you can play immediately after, with no cooldown or whatever. And then someone did the math, because like the ultimate also adds like a 3rd button to those sequences. So like this particular character has something like 1,000 different spell combinations, and like
that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
That's too many spells.
Outrageous to play against. It's going to shake up the meta. I hope Faker picks it up. Like, I am begging and pleading Faker to play this one character and tell me all about it.
Faker,
but we'll see.
Listen. Please understand. We need your wisdom and knowledge in this trying time.
Jesus Christ.
Or at least see something garbage and silly.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's so many silly cards with this like Western themed expansion. There's a card that like paladins have things called Silver Hand Recruits.
Okay.
Right, and so there is a thing which is like, I shit you not, Hi-Ho's Silver Hand.
Away.
Yeah.
Hey, I got it. I know some things. I have seen a movie.
The vibes are good. So
that sounds like a great card, though. What's it do?
Let's see here. The Hi-Ho Silver card gives your Silver Hand recruits +2 attack and Divine Shield.
And Divine Shield. Haha.
Yep. So that way you can just make you're like, look, all my little guys are just garbage monsters now. Enjoy hell.
Enjoy hell, huh?
That's the one.
All right.
The one. We're a big fan of telling people to enjoy hell. I mean, there's just like silly season. Like there's like oh god, the Kobold Miner is just a 2-mana 1/1, but it excavates. So that way you can start building your excavate board like super quickly.
Okay.
Hearthstone is in full on. This video game does not give a fuck mode, which I very much enjoy. Very silly, very silly. Let's see here. I think it's probably worth also mentioning. I continue to match the kittens.
Oh yeah, has that movie been announced yet?
It has not. You know, we're still deep in negotiations for Kitten Match.
All right. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Tell them the fans are waiting.
Yeah, I know, right? Like the Kitten Match needs are real.
Mm-hmm. Saran's not going to sign on though, right? Like I can let go of that dream, but you're going to get someone else.
I mean, we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see.
I'll keep hoping then. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh well, what's going on with you, man?
Bro, you remember Knuckle Sandwich? No, I think I just remember yelling at you about Knuckle Sandwich. Have you actually ever seen the trailer for like the Adam Brophy video game?
Yeah, no, I yes.
Okay. Well, I started playing it. It came out last Friday, and I started it on Monday. And Knuckle Sandwich is just like, it's a JRPG if it was also WarioWare. That's just literally what it is. Like, it's the same style of comedy. The jokes are pretty wild. You know, you still got the cannibalism burgers very much at the beginning of the game. They riff on all sorts of shit. There's one point where like it jokes that you need to pick a new like party member, and it's just like set up like the original like red, blue, green like Pokemon selection thing, where they have like the cool, calm and collected, the fiery, and like the outdoorsy type characters and whatnot, and they just want you to pick one. But like they're just fucking around. They're just like, nah, like this is the next sequence you play with this character. But it's very cool. Every like attack has like a little action command thing going along with it, and like every special attack has a straight up WarioWare like 2-second micro game associated with it. It's very meticulous. It's a lot of fun. And the cool thing is that like it hasn't gotten stale. I think I've moved through like, I don't know, 7 or 8 environments yet, and like every time my action command like becomes a new slightly different mini game, it feels like fresh all the time. It's very open to making fun of itself. It's pretty great, and the pixel art's amazing. So, I'm having a good time.
Oh. I really that what if it was WarioWare really does sound.
It really does have that feeling. Not gonna lie. I watched the entire thing and I was like, what is happening? And then more things would happen. I go, hey, wait, I thought I knew what was happening and now I no longer know what's happening again. Can we re-explain what's happening? And the answer was no, because something else is happening now.
It's happening right now.
There were too many things. It was great. I think you'd get a kick out of it, Brian.
Like, I definitely told you about like the opening scenario where you have to go to like the job center and they have you play 4 mini games. Before I had like mixed success. Like this time I played them, I actually played all 4 mini games to completion and won all of them, but they didn't give me any of those jobs. So like it's definitely just like kind of a thing to do. But like you do like a Galaga style mini game where you're supposed to be a space like janitor or whatever. But you turn out to just be like in the basement of some arcade and they throw you out. They have you do a dancer thing. They put you in a unitard, and it's like this like DDR-esque sort of mini game that you play. And the first time I lost, and they're like, "Oh, you're not good enough to dance here." They throw you out. But this time when I played it, they're like, "Oh, I can't have someone better than me here." They threw me out. They had you do an exterminator job, where it turned to the person that was supposed to be killing the bugs actually just wants you to capture them because they're going to make a bug utopia on this island of some kind, which I'm almost certain I'm going to go to later. And they tease the idea that you could be a video game designer. Like, wait, why did that one get in there? And they just threw it out because I guess they didn't want me to do that either. And I worked at the burger place. I found an underground cave where some guy popped out of nowhere. That apparently when I go to sleep, I visit the goblin world, and the goblins are weird, extra dimensional, super powerful creatures that function as the summons in the game.
And it's a different style of pixel art in the goblin world.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Very high detail. We're talking about thousands of pixels rather than hundreds in this case. It's pretty wild. Good time.
One time we came back to the burger place and it looked like early Legend of Zelda game.
Oh yeah.
Reasons unknown. We shot people with burgers. I don't know why we did that either, but it was okay.
Oh man. Yeah, Knuckle Sandwich is sick, man. It's a very good time. And then I'm also playing Stars in Time, which is a game that Tegan has said that she's going to purchase for multiple people because she loves it so much already.
I do. I'm delighted.
And it's a time loop RPG game, black and white. Very much looks like Minute, but I feel like the pixel art fidelity is higher. It's definitely 16-bit monochrome. The writing is extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really surprising how good it is. It's very funny, very tongue in cheek. It has a strong emotional core. The characters do things and they embody each of their actions and whatnot. But it also has a very youthful tone that doesn't shy away from darker themes. It's good stuff.
We love it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the public stuff I've been working on. I've also been playing a bit of Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen because they announced Dragon's Dogma 2, and I found out that Dark Arisen was $5 on Steam, and I hadn't played it since PS3. So I'm like, you know what, I'll play it again. And I'm remembering this is kind of scratching sort of the Monster Hunter itch that I've had a little bit of recently because I'm basically done with Sunbreak, but I don't want to do the end game stuff and doing Monster Hunter type stuff, the character creator and the action combat, but in an RPG space is interesting. It's definitely dated, but it still feels good. It feels responsive. So I'm interested to see how Dragon's Dogma 2 will feel.
How long do we think the dev cycle on Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be? Do you think it will actually come out?
I think it'll come out. They have it earmarked for March of next year. Did you see the trailer? It looks like it has gameplay and everything. Looks like it's ready, man. Capcom had an event for it last week.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. They had a 20-minute preview and everything. They had gameplay. They had story. Yeah. It looks like it's done. I think it has been in the oven for a very long time. I don't think it's been in there for the full 10 years, but I would be surprised if it was less than 4, sincerely.
Oh wow. Yeah, this looks baked.
Yeah. Right?
I'm delighted.
Yeah, man. I put in time off for it. I'm taking that Friday off. I'm going to be playing it. I don't know if I'll play it on stream, but I'm going to play it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to everyone don't talk to me. Don't bother me on this day. I'm going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2.
It's that TikTok, Yeah.
The
video game that I have been talking about, it has released, and I do not want to speak with you for 4 days. Okay.
That's what it is. And I'm gonna do the character creator. I'm gonna make my pawn. I'm gonna run around and do things. I think it's one of the things that I really liked about Dragon's Dogma is that it really did kind of nail how open I want my world to be. I think that there's a space that you're brought into, and you can run around and do what you want. There are things that you're supposed to do, like in quotation marks, and you can get to them whatever, but run around and do what you want to do to your heart's content. And maybe sometimes some things you're not ready for and some things that you are, but it doesn't really matter. But whenever you get back to the main plot, you can breeze right through it whenever you feel like it. And I think that's cool. I think that shit's sick. But I am I'm curious because I don't know if you're probably looking at it, but the magic in the new Dragon's Dogma game looks really articulated. It doesn't feel like magic in video games. It feels like magic TM. You know what I mean? If you're telling a child about what magic is, you put Dragon's Dogma 2 footage on the screen, this is what magic is. And they're like, whoa, that's the kind of thing, as opposed to I don't know, the stuff you see. And God, I don't know what I'd trash right now. I kind of want to trash Hogwarts Legacy because fuck them, I guess. But where it's just you get these little beams, little tiny magic missiles or whatever. And I'm I mean, I guess that's magic, but you see exactly what it is. There's no mystery to it really. And there's probably something weird and fucked up going on with the magic in Dragon's Dogma, and I can't wait to hear about it.
I think about how Dragon's Dogma spent so much time winning so many hearts, or just with how when you make a decision in Dragon's Dogma, it has profound consequences.
Yes.
And it's oh, did you go all the way to the bottom of that building before you were ready, and you weren't appropriately leveled? Well, congratulations. How are you going to get out? Oh, did you take a swing at that villager because you thought it'd be funny? Oh, I'm sorry.
The whole village is jumping you now, actually.
The whole village is jumping you now, actually, and they will forever, and they will not forget. They are not forgiving people.
I think it's one of those things, and I feel I think Dogma happened around the time that Demon's Souls did, so I can't say FromSoft ape them or anything, but they feel they were in conversation where they wanted to take RPG games and keep them from feeling like a checklist. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of RPGs okay, you want to do everything, we'll do this and this and this and this and this and this, and then here's your reward, and then go do this next list of chores or whatever.
Right.
And I'm not saying those games are bad because I play a lot of them and I totally get it. And because sometimes I just want to move through a story and do the things that they're asking me to. But Dragon's Dogma specifically at that time was a game that asks you to inhabit a space however you will. And it's one of the closer experiences to I guess a very attentive TTRPG experience where we know that you're in this space and whatever you do in the space is going to change it. And those changes are things that you will have to reckon with that will happen around you.
Right.
And there are a lot of games that for, various reasons, because they're not concerned about punishing the player, or they're not concerned about making the player respond to their own choices and consequences, that the game kind of forgets that the player is there unless they do the things that are on the checklist. And I'm really happy that Dragon's Dogma, or not even just Dragon's Dogma, because there's been a series of games over the years that have become popular because they remembered and understood and reacted to the way that the player interacted with the space. And I'm glad another game like it is getting shine and getting the ability to be shared with the world. That shit's cool.
Yeah, it's weird because it feels it feels Demon's Souls and Dragon's Dogma were. I always feel like people take the wrong lessons
I hear that.
when they look at Rogue. You know, they
Mhm.
like I think the word rogue like gets thrown around in a way which is just like completely exhausting.
I get that.
Um,
Mhm.
and like I think that the thing which is like most interesting about like um, Rogue and games that like share its DNA are like the notion of like consequences in world. Like consequences are interesting. Which is why I think that we're in the middle of like this like gigantic like dwarf fortress renaissance.
True. I hear that.
You know, like people are like, "What do you mean my dwarves are lonely?" Um, and then like, it's like, oh, now there's dwarven prostitution, but now my dwarves have STDs, which means that now my dwarves are more prone to other types of sickness, which
Right.
now means that my dwarves who have not set aside any kind of like infrastructure for medicine are all dying because they have all got dwarf syphilis. What is going on? My
Mm.
lonely dwarves are dying of syphilis. Like just like the way like systems interact with each other, like Dwarf Fortress. Like, oh no, my dwarves don't have enough iron in their diet, so they're bleeding more easily. What the fuck? It's a video game. But
But
like I
like,
look like video games that like embraced consequences as like their central attraction, and like it feels like Dragon's Dogma and um Demon Souls like have more in common with like something like Sheer the Wanderer um,
mm,
than like say um, like the Legend of Zelda. You know, like
yeah. No,
yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Um, and like when you ask a lot of people about like some of their like favorite moments are from like those like early Zelda games, like what moment is like provocative and memorable and something that you return to in your memory over and over again, is like inevitably you will get somebody who will tell you like, well, I love to hit the chicken with my
Sure.
sword over and over again. I like to hit the chicken. And then eventually what happens is you hit the chicken enough time, like a zillion chickens come from everywhere and you get bodied by the chickens
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a thing in like that game where like do something enough and there are consequences for your actions. Um and I like Dragons. Like I think the first time I remember with the like one of the first moments I like in Dragon's Dogma that I felt um just like connected to the space was like in the little tiny prologue. I was like, what do you mean I can climb on this fucking dude?
No, like there's something in my brain shifted the first time I had like one of my like burly like swordsman characters like put a guy in a full Nelson so I could stab them. I didn't realize that that was a thing that they were going to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You were just like, oh wait, hold on, it shifts like how I react to like tactics, how I enter like fights, and like what I'm looking for to react with instead of just running in and slashing everything. Like these guys are gonna help. These guys are holding people down. What's going on? Some real gang shit.
It's so cool. Uh,
Mm.
and like I realize that this is all a tangent because where this came from was you were talking about the magic systems in Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh,
And
that was
it,
just a little thing, but yeah.
yeah, and I guess where I was wandering to and I'll eventually come now arrive at
Hmm.
is when you use the phrase articulated to describe it,
Hmm.
it made me think about like what if a large portion of this development cycle was figuring out systems and layers and mechanisms for having the magic have as many diversity of consequences as physical and social interactions.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah, so am I. Like that's woo Nelly.
Mm.
Woo Nelly. Um because that's something which like say pen and paper RPGs have always been good at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the idea of like magic having consequences,
Right.
but is a thing that is like very, very difficult to like replicate in a video game in a way which is like systemically satisfying.
Yeah, because like the problem is that like at a table, like you can kind of negotiate like what you want to happen, while like with game systems they have to like have a set like list
Yeah.
of things that could likely happen. So like the list just needs to get bigger, likely impossibly so.
Right. Until video games start to find like more interesting ways of doing the math in the background.
True.
Um,
The math is evolving though, that's for sure.
yeah, which is why like I'm curious to know more about these magic systems and see like if they have as great a diversity in like consequence space.
True.
Like something which was like a great example of magic feeling like it had a variety of um, consequences is like in the new like open world Zelda games, like like what you have is like essentially like functionally magic. Like I can pick up this fucking metal thing remotely and do and futz around with it.
Mm-hmm.
And like so much of like what um Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom did was like, hey, what if we just give you tools which are like mechanically magic, but just really embrace physics as their primary driver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like um the difference between like say kicking a spherical bomb versus a cube bomb down a hill. Like which one goes further? Oh, the sphere does because it's able to like gather greater momentum because of the shape in the cube. Like things like that. I remember the first time I was like trying to like kill a Lionel from great distance due to cowardice. And I was like, oh, I've got two different bomb shapes. I've got sphere bombs and cube bombs. And I just remember sitting there going like, oh wow, the spheres go further because of momentum. That's great. Or oh, if like this brush fire, is going on in this field, then my little like paraglider thing will pop because hot air rises. That's great. Like, so I love when magic can draw attention to like other systems, like like realistic physics. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, count me interested.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm working my way through Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I actually didn't play the Dark Arisen expansion, so like when I started the game this time, I didn't know what it was. And I thought it was like a early game quest, which it's not. Like it's a thing that you're supposed to come back to later. And like I was getting bodied for no good reason. But the last thing that I'm prepared to talk about today is Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, which I've talked about before. Mm-hmm. It is the remake of the second Fire Emblem game for 3DS. And holy shit, man, like we're talking about full anime in addition to like active 3D cutscenes. The game is like 85% voice acted. Like through the whole thing, I'm talking about like just like random support conversations are voice acted. The scenes in between missions, obviously the fight like noises and like one-liners or whatever. And it's just so cool that like this cast, which is like pretty big. I have like I'm running like you run two parties throughout the game, with Alm and like Celica, and they each have about 10 different characters. Like, no, I think it's more. I think I have like 14 in both of them, like entering like the second act of the game. And then there's the whole enemy like cast of characters and everything that you're interacting with. And it's just crazy to me that all this is voice acted in a fucking 3DS game. And that they had like because I don't know if you, or for people who don't know, like this was one of the few 3DS games that was offered with a significant amount of DLC. Like the game itself was like a $40-$50 3DS game, and then they had another $40-$50 worth of DLC on the back end, and a lot of it was like extra classes and like special missions, but also just like new like scenarios and other little tidbits that are like peppered throughout the game. And like this is just huge. Like this is an outrageous amount of content that was shoved into a 3DS game, and I'm very glad that I have it. And I feel very sad that people probably won't be able to buy it in the future. Like even if they buy like the cart from somebody because like they're not making anymore because the eShop is gone. Like there's no way to get like the DLC that is arguably a third of the game or so. I mean, all end game stuff probably, but like still, like Jesus. Shadows of Valentia is very cool. I really like how the two plot lines are playing out. It very much looks like they're childhood friends that are going to go on separate but continuous campaigns that both just want peace for their world, and they're going to have to kill each other or whatever. And I think one of them's the son of like the opposing king. There's so much drama. I'm excited. I'm going to continue playing it. It's my wind down game when I'm not like ready to go to sleep. So I'll just play like a map or two. Hold on. I want to yell about other Fire Emblem stuff. My bad.
No,
there's a lot of.
I love Fire Emblem stuff because it's nonsense, but like
so like
positive. They
changed a lot of things. Like for example, Brave Blade in like the modern games is just like a sword that is guaranteed to double hit no matter what. In this case, it's replaced as like the Killing Edge or whatever, which I thought was a nerf at first. Except, however, the way that the classes work, you get like Villager, which specs into like 4 different things unless you're the main characters. And then villagers can become Myrmidons, which is what would normally use Killing Edges. But their next thing, which usually was called Swordmaster, in this game they're called Dread Fighters. And Dread Fighters have like an outrageous crit rate on their own. So like the Brave Blade fits in. They're fast enough to double hit anything in the game. And also they get free magic resistance as like a swordsman. So they're basically just unkillable swordsmen because they have high defense. They have a stat that makes it so they get like increased magic resistance. So they're a relatively cheap unit that gets really strong later on. Also, like most of your casts, you can freely customize them. So like if you want to play a game where they're all Cavaliers, you can just do that from the beginning, like after the first chapter. Or if you want to play all mages, or if you want to mix in some knights and some Pegasus Knights and all sorts of stuff, like you can just do that. Like they put those tools in your hand from the very beginning, which is really interesting. There are some optimal choices because of like how the stat growths play out, but unless you're like a super intense player, like you probably won't have to care about those. I also really like how the way that the damage formula works in this game, instead of like whenever you swung at something that if your defense value was higher than their attack, that it would do 0 damage. But this case, it's always 1. And so it's actually a way to like chip away at like very strong characters early on in the game, as opposed to just like deciding, oh, well, these characters can't hit anything, so there's no reason in leveling them. It's interesting. It's forcing me to play the game differently than like the modern iterations. Although arguably the modern iterations were like tuned to feel a lot smoother. This one feels like something I can actually cut my teeth on, which is very fun. But yeah, that's all the stuff I'm playing.
Okay, but you haven't answered the best question for every Fire Emblem game. Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character?
Who's your favorite character so far?
I haven't. Okay, so there's a lot of really good characters. I really like Tobin, who's a wisecracking character in like the Young Boys Party Alm. And he is obsessed with not being shown up by the main character in fights, which, good luck. And he is also trying to play matchmaker for most of his friends. Like there's a character Gray who's trying to romance this like noble like princess who talks in like the haughty princess talk.
Yeah.
And
my favorite kind of language.
Yeah, that's Tobin, actually. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I pulled him up for everybody.
And Gray is trying to romance Claire, but Claire is trying to get Alm to like her, and like she keeps trying to like flex her language or whatever, and then like Alm is just like, wait, hold on, what? And then like he always has to try to dissect what she's saying. And then she tries to like simplify her language in a different support conversation. And then he says like, well, no, I like the way that you're kind of like haughty and stuff. That's fun. Like that's the Claire that I know. And then she goes back to it and she starts trying to make up like new greetings. Like for a while, she like says, salutations, Alm. And then later on, she's like, felicitations. And he's like, Felissa, what? Like it's, I don't know.
It's like, huh?
Yeah, it's very fun, very silly.
They're
Also,
cute. This is fun.
yeah, no, I was debating, one of the things I was debating is like finding a way to stream this because like the dialogue in this game is something that you all would love. There's a quiet love story that's going on between two of the acolytes that travel with Celica after she leaves like the Jesus. Like she's like put away essentially at this like convent because she's a princess in hiding or whatever. And
Right,
there's
of course, yeah, that's the best place to put a princess in hiding.
Mhm. Wait, Brian, were you saying something?
Oh, you said she's a princess in hiding. I said, aren't we all?
Oh, true enough. And there's two acolytes that choose to travel with her once she leaves the convent. May and Bowie. And May is like is a charismatic caster who like takes to combat very quickly, while Bowie is a bit more reserved and a little more worried about things. And he's also like kind of not the best damage unit. He gets better in other ways because he's a bigger spell list or whatever. But May is interested in Bowie, and she doesn't know if Bowie likes her back. And she like worries about like how she like comes off. She talks to Celica in a couple of her support conversations about like, do you think like a girl should be like more feminine and stuff? Like trying to like wonder if that's the way to get Bowie's attention. And like Celica has like a what? Oh, like moment about it. And like it's fully voice acted. It's perfect. It's like it's not even made up in your brain. It's so good. And I recently got like both of them to like I got May and Bowie to their A rank support conversation where May finally realizes that Bowie like actually likes her because like they were talking about what they were going to do after the war, and then May's like, well, maybe we go back home. It's like, but what if we don't? Like we could like be advisors to Princess Celica or whatever. And then Bowie's like, what? No, but my family's back home. And May's like, oh. And it's like, well, what are you going to do? It's like, well, I guess if I'm going, I guess I'd go back to the convent. And it's like, well, if you're going back to the convent, then so am I. And then she's like, wait, what? It's like, are you serious? Like, you haven't noticed this whole time? And then like, now like,
oh, no, that's cute.
No, yeah, a lot of it is cute. And there's a couple of characters. There's a archer Leon. Well, you in Celica's journey, there's three characters that you meet like on the road, essentially, in the middle of a different conflict. A knight named Valbar, a swordsman named Kamui, and an archer named Leon. And Valbar is taking on this pirate king because when he went to go fight in the war, his family's town was raided and his family was killed. And so he's taking on this pirate king in revenge for his family. And Leon, who's very much in love with Valbar, is following him to the ends of the earth because he believes that Valbar is the perfect man. And Kamui is a sellsword that's being paid by Valbar to travel with them. But after you beat the Pirate King with Celica, because she's there also for her own reasons, Valbar decides to swear fealty to Celica in gratitude for their assistance. Leon continues to follow Valbar. Kamui decides to stick around as long as he gets paid. But the fun part is that Leon is in love with Valbar, but like it's kind of unrequited because he doesn't know if like Valbar's open to it. But Leon and Kamui kind of have like a will they won't they thing that's going on, but Leon's very much like, okay, I get that you're curious or whatever, but I'm in love with Valbar. Like, you need to understand that. And Kamui's just like, well, but what kind of man is your perfect man? And it's very silly, like the way that they keep going about. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
I love that for them. Good for them. Happy for them. Oh my god. All these character designs are fucking sick.
Yes, they are. Damn it. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Oh, there was also a great moment, totally story mode, a moment with like the main male character, Alm. after they, reclaim Zofia Castle, there's like they went to some other fortress nearby that had a stolen treasure that was a sword that belonged to the royal family. And apparently only people of royal blood could lift it up. And Tobin tries to lift it up. And he's like, what? This thing's like 1,000,000 pounds. Why can't I pick it up? And then Alm just kind of picks it up. And he's like, Tobin, were you messing with me, man? Like, come on, this thing's light as a feather. And it was just...
And everybody's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, everyone's like, wait a minute. And then Alm, are you sure? He's like, no, I mean, I'm a grandson of a knight or whatever, which he's absolutely not, actually. Like, he believes that, like, this knight that's been protecting him, Lord of Mycen, was his grandfather. But, like, there's, like, an old, like, advisor to the crown that's in Zofia Castle when you, like, liberate it. And Mycen's not there anymore. And then he says, like, no, Mycen never had a family. He never had a wife or any children. So I don't know how he could be his grandson. And everyone's like, and then, and then, like,
it's like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Sure do wonder about that.
And, like, I'm pretty sure he's actually the son of, like, the other kingdom, but why he's in the wrong kingdom is a big question. And Mycen, like, he meets him right after he liberates the castle and learns of his plan to go march on the opposing kingdom. And he tells him, like, okay, are you sure of what you're doing? Because once you do it, you're going to cause some events to go into motion that no one will be able to stop. And then he doesn't say anything else about it. He just fucking leaves. So, like, that's going to be fun later, I guess.
Love that. Love that for us. Oh, God. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, also, the opposing kingdom has a sorcerer named Jeddah, who is apparently a direct servant of the god Duma, who's like the war god or whatever of Rigel.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they mention is that women have been able to gain incredible magical power from Duma by just trading their soul. But, obviously, once they give up their soul, they're not exactly the same person, but they have a body that's full of powerful magic now. And Jeddah, for some reason, wants Celica's soul to give to Duma in exchange for releasing the goddess that apparently the other king took into captivity before the events of the story.
So no pressure.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. There is some shit going on in this DS game, and it is very good.
Do you think there's an option to give her soul over? Is that like an ending, you think?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it'll be like a branching path sort of thing. I hope there are branching endings. I haven't actually looked into it at all, but I do already know, like, the first cutscene in the game is adult Alm and adult Celica, and adult Celica has a glowing sword through her chest, and it's clear that she's dying, and Alm is horrified. And I think the implication from that first scene is that Alm is the one that stabs her, presumably on accident, but I don't know how that's possible, but we'll get there. Apparently.
This is delightful. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You have to tell me all about it.
I will. I'll tell you. No problem.
Good. I have the amiibos for this game. I have the Alm and Celica amiibo.
Oh, word.
Give me the 2-pack? Yeah. I was like, I don't know. These look neat. I like their designs. And so I bought them.
I hear that. I fuck with it. Oh, man. Fucking Shadows of Valencia.
What a good job.
Teeks, what have you been playing?
Nothing. No, that's a lie. I've been playing so much Genshin Impact, actually.
Okay.
Listen, okay? I just really like Fontaine.
I mean, I hear that.
So Fontaine's gotten its second expansion, technically. Because we're in the 4.2 release. So 4.0 is what was released. 4.1, they got their first expansion. 4.2, they got their second expansion. And this is the first, like, set of expansions in a new region where instead of giving us part 1 of the Archon quest and then a patch with no Archon information in it, and then the second part of the Archon quest, and then another patch, and then the third patch with the Archon quest, instead of doing that, they're just like 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, and that's going to be your whole Archon quest for this area. That's it. And then you just get to do mess around stuff. Everything else will be non-Archon quest related sort of thing. And everything has gone to shit.
Okay.
I just started the third part of the Archon quest. So throughout all of our journeys through Fontaine, love Fontaine, beautiful underwater world. They when I first started playing the patch, I commented on how nice the swimming was.
Mhm.
The swimming continues to be the best part of this entire game. Every time I have to do something on land, I'm like, no, I don't wanna. I want to go underwater. I want to swim with the jellyfish. I want to make friends with the seals. I want to fight these things that are called local legends, which is something I've recently discovered. And it's not that I recently discovered that they're the local legends. It's recently I discovered they're called local legends. They're these random named characters that show up in the overworld and underneath, like in the ocean. And they have very, very big health bars. So it's just like random normal looking monster skin, 3 times the health you're expecting.
Okay.
You know, like all across the top of the screen with a name and different fight music as though it were like an area boss instead. And I'm just like, oh, why is this here? And it turns out they all have lore.
Okay, so it's like Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's like Dark Souls. Except I don't know who any of these dudes are or why they're important. I'm just running around kicking their butt.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm not doing a good job. I keep my butt keeps getting handed to me by all the ones that live on land. And the ones in the ocean, I'm having like actual fun fighting. So I'm just fighting those guys over and over again.
Is it because of oh no, what's her name? Your girl, the lightning girl. What's her name?
Keqing?
Yeah, is it because of Keqing?
I love Keqing. No, it's not because of Keqing. I can't. So when you're underwater, you can't use any of your elemental abilities.
Oh.
You have to use special underwater powers that you get from borrowing like these like ocean spirits that are like around you. So there's a jellyfish, there's a crab, there's a seal, there's a manta ray, and something else. There's something else. And you like basically like connect with one of them and they lend you like their abilities sort of thing. Oh, an octopus. There's an octopus. So like you'll get the seal power and it lets you do like underwater like echolocation essentially, where like you just send out like sound waves continuously to like attack stuff. The jellyfish gives you a little like bomb that you can kind of place. You like throw it out and then this like a little jellyfish like pod shows up and then you just tell it to like explode in an area and it does AoE damage. The crab will give you a shield and send out like a little force wave that does good damage nearby, but really what it's used to do is to turn projectile attacks from other enemies onto themselves, which is neat. And so like there's different and the manta rays do like a water slice cut thing that you can use to like get through really thick seaweed and free treasure chests and sea creatures that are tangled up and stuff. Like you can like cut them loose, but also you can just like slice things in half. And it's super fun. Like so like I'll get a different power and I'll like go back and I'll go fight an underwater boss again just to see if like this power works better than this power, or like if I can counter the like this weird attack that I couldn't counter with this other thing that I was using before, like that kind of stuff. And it's more fun than the overworld monsters because the overworld guys, one, are mostly just guys, which is fine. They have like different dialogue. They do like actual like voiced lines, which is neat. Because like your weekly monster bosses don't get any voiced lines. And they'll also comment on like how you're fighting them in a weird way. They'll like tell you if you're like doing extra damage or not. But mostly they just kick my ass. And it makes me mad. And part of that problem is definitely like I don't have a variety of characters who are built well, because building characters in Genshin is very annoying. And I don't like doing it. So I've started working on that, unfortunately. But I do have all the characters I want from Fontaine so far, so this is great. I got Farina, who is our Hydro Archon. She's perfect, great, beautiful. I love her so much. She's so good. That's my daughter. I've adopted her. She's very much like a showman, you know? And she's very much like suffering because of it. She's been, imagine being on stage for 400 years with no breaks.
400?
That's what she's doing. It's actually been 500, but 400, we'll say. I love her so much. Look at her. Because she is the Hydra Archon, she can in Fontaine. There's like these two. There's essentially like a light alignment and a dark alignment that you can use to interact with other stuff. Because Fontaine is the country of justice. It's ruled over by the god of justice. So it's like a give and a take kind of thing. Like they're represented by like this. Their like city design. The like emblem for their city is a fountain that is also a set of scales. It's so fucking cool. I love it. Anyway, so like she can switch between both alignments. And when she's in her light alignment, she does healing. Like her main skill does healing stuff for your party. And when she's in her dark alignment, her healing thing splits into 3 different characters, and they all do Hydra damage. Like she turns into a DPS.
Neat.
The range. We love her. But the Archon story naturally centers around her. So like in the first story, we were like introduced to Fontaine, and she basically like accused us of a crime. And then we're like, oh, just kidding. Ha ha ha. Everything is so funny. I'll see you later. And like jetted off essentially. And then I know, Nico, I'm talking about Farina. And then our magician friend Lenny got accused of doing murders. Right? But these murders occurred 20 years ago, and he's like 18 maybe. So like the math ain't mathing, but somehow he was accused of crimes and he was going to go to jail for it. And we had to figure out who did the crimes. And it turned out he didn't do the crimes. A different dude did the crimes. We figured it out by talking to an ocean spirit, which was an amalgamation of different women's consciousnesses that he had murdered. And you have to be like, okay, so how did the different women's consciousnesses become inside the ocean spirit, right? How does that work? Well, It turns out he used this thing called primordial seawater, which is the seawater from the beginning of Teyvat. And because the people of Fontaine, you get like a lore dump, and they're like, the people of Fontaine were created from water by the first Archon.
What the fuck shit? What?
Yeah. And so for the sin of creating life, creating humans, which is something that Celestia did, but didn't want anybody else to do. So when the Hydra Archon created humans from the ocean water, Celestia punished Fontaine. All of Fontaine. I know, Nico. All of them. They didn't even do anything. And said, eventually the oceans will rise and all of the people of Fontaine will turn back into water. And the Archon will be left alone by themselves, and it'll be their fault. And it's just like, okay. We don't have time to unpack all that. And it's just a legend, right? No, actually, that's true. If people from Fontaine come in contact with primordial seawater, they turn back into water and die. But their consciousnesses stay alive in the water and can accumulate into oceanids, which are these like water spirits, essentially. And the water spirits sometimes can, if they have enough like energy with them, they can like talk. Mm-hmm. There is an oceanid that we fight all the fucking time in that's like a regular boss in Liyue.
Right.
The oceanid in the Chinkso waterway, and she's always like, oh, the Hydra Archon hates us. They hate us and they drove us away. And it's like, it turns out not quite, actually. The Hydra Archon turned a bunch of them into people and then scared the rest of them away so that they wouldn't be punished by Celestia. So, no, doesn't hate you. Just doesn't want you to unbecome. Cool. Now we're all caught up. Anyway. So then we had to go chase Child, because Child is, of course, here. He's our boyfriend from Shaznia, but he's not our boyfriend, but he's our boyfriend. from Shinazunaya, and he has problems. He has a hydro vision and a electro delusion. And the delusions are fake visions made by the Fatui that give you like crazy power, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you use them, it takes your like actual life energy to use them. Whereas your vision is granted to you by the gods, and it's just like a recognition of your efforts in a particular like field sort of thing. Whatever that field is determined by the gods, not by us. It's so fun. Anyway, so his hydro vision is acting weird and has been acting weird ever since he came to Fontaine. So like, why don't you hold on to it, Traveler, my bestie? I trust you to hold on to it. We'll see you later. And then he goes and gets his ass arrested.
Oh my god.
He goes to jail also for the murders that we cleared Linny of doing. Child is also like maybe 26. And he did spend like 14 months or something, 6 months, 8, I don't remember. He spent an enormous amount of time in the abyss where time moves differently.
Okay.
And he came out a battle master. And joined the Fatui. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wait, so that's just like hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. He hyperbolic time chambered, but normally when you're in that hyperbolic time chamber, you become corrupted and turned into a monster, and he just got really good at fighting and then went, all right, I'm done, and fought his way out. That's what he did. And then he joined the Fatui, which are like the mafia, but imagine if it was only like the most elite fighters ever. That is what he's in. He's the weakest of them, apparently, but I don't think that's true. Anyway, we'll see. So we have to go into jail.
Okay.
Because he went to jail for these crimes he also did not commit because he was not in Fontaine 20 years ago. He was in the abyss. And he's like, this isn't right. And because you want me to go to jail, don't I get to like do a trial, like a proper trial? And they're like, well, we already know who did the crimes, but like we have to finish your trial. And he's like, cool. And then the trial finds him guilty. And then he's like, okay, can I do a trial by combat now, actually, for my honor? And they're like, no, you can't do a trial by combat. We have to arrange that. You still have to go to jail for a little bit. And he goes, bet. And then he starts fighting everyone anyway. And then Nouvelette, who is like the chief justice of Fontaine and also a hydro dragon, is like, enough of this bullshit, actually. Sit down, child. And like just smacks his ass around, knocks him unconscious, and he's like, take him to jail, please. And now, like, and then like you fast forward a month and it's like, no one has heard from Child. He has been in jail for a month. What happened? ? Traveler, will you go to jail so that we can figure out what happened to Child? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go to jail. And they're like, cool, have this cake. Oh no, you've actually eaten the cake that was meant for the Hydro Archon. How terrible. You have to go to jail for 45 days. We'll see you in 45 days. And it's like, what? You gave me a cake. You told me to eat it. You said it was my present for doing this thing for you. And actually, it was the way to get me arrested. Cool.
Classic.
I love Genshin Impact. None of this makes sense. It's so fun. So then we go to jail. And who else is in jail? Linny is in jail. And also his twin sister is in jail.
I got that. Okay.
Why are they in jail? We don't know. They also are here, actually, looking for Child. Because it turns out they work for Father. And Father is another Fatui Harbinger. And also a woman.
Alchemist.
Yeah, but also a woman.
Father's a woman?
Father's a woman, yes.
Okay, cool.
I love his sister. She's so cute. She's a cat. He is not a cat. The cat ears are a recessive trait, apparently. I think, allegedly. They're real.
Ears are a recessive trait. Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't have people ears. She has cat ears and a tail. And he doesn't have cat ears or a tail. He has people ears. And they're twins. And then everything goes to shit. So first we have to learn the monetary system in jail. Which is coupons.
Okay, at least it's coupons.
It's coupons. You work, you earn coupons. You can spend those coupons in the dining hall. Or to like, if you want a day off of work, you can spend coupons instead of going to work, you know? Or like, if you want to do like a special treat, you can spend coupons to get a special treat, you know? It's to like keep instilling like a sense of like normalcy or whatever. And then when you're done with your sentence, you have an option. You can stay and keep working. Optional. Option 1, stay in jail where you are provided free food, free housing, all that stuff. And you can work for coupons if you want. Or you can go back to Fontaine. And if you go back to Fontaine, you can get whatever job you want. It doesn't matter. Like, you served your time, and so the people of Fontaine consider that like clean slate now. Like, yeah, you went to jail, but you learned your lesson. You did your time. It's okay, you know? And you will change, your coupons can be exchanged for regular money so that you don't go back out into the world with nothing, which is cool.
That's pretty wild.
That's very nice. Good for them. They figured out a good way. They're like, people want to work. They don't want to do like, they want to feel rewarded for their work. So like they work building the guard mech robots that we use in Fontaine. But if you don't want to do that, you can just spend your earned money essentially for a day off.
So you not only get your earned money, but you can also get a promising career in robotics, apparently, by
yeah,
going
exactly.
to jail.
Yeah, exactly. Or healthcare if you want.
Or healthcare.
Or healthcare, because healthcare is free down there, which is great. Also, healthcare is provided by a creature called a Melusine, which is like if a sea slug and a person morph together.
Sorry, healthcare is provided by a sea slug person?
Yeah, it's like a child-size person that is also a sea slug. They're called Melusines. Okay. And they are apparently the original... They were the original people who lived in Fontaine under the Hydro Dragon before Celestia killed the Hydro Dragon. The original Hydro Dragon, not Neuvillette.
Okay.
And then the Hydro Dragon was reborn as Neuvillette. And then the Hydro Dragon... this is more story. We get more of this later in after we get out of jail, when we do Neuvillette's storyline, where we find out, yes, he's the reincarnation of the Hydro Dragon. He's been working with Farina for the last 500 years. She instilled him she like hired him essentially to be the Chief Justice of Fontaine so that he could be like oversee the people of Fontaine in a place of power and respect, while also learning how the people of Fontaine live so he didn't feel like an outsider. And then he in turn reintroduced the Melusines to Fontaine. Like, he brought them back up out of their like sea caves essentially, and like helped them reintegrate in society, because they're like they're very honest. They have special senses where they can see things and like smell things that regular people can't, you know, because they're like sea slugs or whatever. So like they work in like policing and in like healthcare essentially. There's so much going on. Genshin is wild. Look at them. They're so cute. They're like people, but they're also like sea slugs, you know? And they're all different colors. They're all different colors. They're all different patterns. They're all very cute, but they're all female. They all use she pronouns. This is important. They specify this. They're like, the Melusines all use she. Because they want to, not because they need to. Which is fine. But anyway, so she's like, Farina's like, this is how you can like reintegrate it. This is a way that like we can get everyone to like live together, sort of thing, in like a harmony situation, you know? And we'll put you in charge of the justice system, and then we'll put the people that you trust, the Melusines, on the police force so that like everything feels like fine, you know? And at the beginning, there was a lot of, you know, racism against the Melusines. And then like we're fast forwarding 400 years, and now a Melusine received a threatening letter, and all the people of Fontaine are up in arms. They're like, who is threatening Melusines? I love the Melusines. If anyone kills the Melusines, I will kill everyone in the square and then myself. Like, wild. And it's just like, look, the growth of people who are able to interact with people of a different culture, and then like they learned and they grow to love each other and everything's fine, right? Or whatever. Anyway, that's a side story. That's not related. It's a little related.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a side story?
That's a side story.
That's just not...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I I reached a point where I had no idea what we were talking anymore, and I translated. I was like, "Is this a video game? Are these words?"
Yeah. These are all video games. Those are words. Yeah.
That's so good.
The Melusines are good, and they have special skills, that contribute to society.
Where we live.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Exactly. And they live into these really cute little shell cottages under the ocean. It's very sweet. Anyway, but they don't have to live there. They can live on the land if they want. Anyway, so... Oh, also, everyone in Fontaine can breathe in the water, and no one thinks that's weird.
Well, because they're also part water. Or
yeah, but they don't know that they're part water until later.
Wait, they don't know?
They don't know.
Oh my god!
That's why it's just a rumor that, like, apparently the prophecy is that the primordial sea will rise and everyone will become one with the water. But everyone knows that's just a rumor, right? Just like it's treated with the same like level of reality as up until the traveler shows up, as that if it is raining in Fontaine, it's raining because the Hydro Dragon is upset. And if enough kids run outside and go, Hydro Dragon, don't cry, then the rain will go away.
Oh my god.
It's like, they're like, those things are on the same level. And then it turns out people dissolving into seawater is a real thing. And suddenly everyone is very worried. But that is also related to why you go to jail. So you go to jail, right? We're looking for Child, right? He's supposed to be in jail. No one has heard from him. He's not in jail. You meet up with Lenny. You're like, Child isn't here. And he's like, yeah, we know Child isn't here. We don't know where he went either. We are looking for him too. That's why we are also in jail.
Oh my god. Okay.
And you're like, cool, great. What do we do about that? And he goes, well, do you want to work together? I know I lied to you about being part of the mafia before when I was on trial, but like, I'm not going to lie to you anymore because I feel bad about it. And you're my friend. Work together? And you're like, yeah, I guess we'll work together, but I'm only going to tell you relevant details about your stuff. And he's like, that's fine. I understand that. We'll do that. Thumbs up. And then things get worse. You start investigating all these stupid little rumors around the jail. None of them lead to anything. Except one, which says if you go to this part of the jail after midnight, after you've been working for 3 days, then you'll disappear. And it's like, you do disappear because the water fills the pipe that you're in, and you could just leave the jail. You can just swim away. I don't know why the water comes up and gets you, but the water comes up and gets you. We're like, that's weird. Okay, cool. And so we tell everybody else about it, and they're like, that's bizarre. And Lenny's like, okay, well, I'm going to send my brother, Fremine, to go investigate that because he likes diving. So, like, we'll do that. And you're like, cool. I'm going to go investigate some other stuff. And you do a bunch of, like, other miscellaneous side missions. And you find out from the guy who runs the jail, whose name is Worsley, and, like, everybody was freaking out because he's got an ass. He's, like, the first male Genshin character with an ass, which is just Zhongli erasure, but that's fine.
Zhongli doesn't have an ass? What are you talking about? This guy? Hold on, give me a second. Where the fuck? I don't know what Zhongli looks like. I know what this dumbass looks like. There's no way. What
you know what Zhongli looks like.
Where is he? This guy. Hold on. I gotta get a bigger picture so I can just put this in here. Uh-huh. This guy. This is the guy that you're saying is the first Genshin character that had an ass.
He was the first Genshin character who was considered to have had an ass. Yes. And now they're saying Worsley has an ass.
Okay, I gotta find official, because this is fan art. There's gotta be... What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Great question. Sure wish I knew. They just put like an extra fold beneath his pants, and everyone's like, oh, he has an ass. And it's like, does he though?
Yeah.
I don't think... Here, this is the behind picture of Worsley, and they're like, that man's got an ass. And I'm like, I guess he's got an ass. I guess that's an ass.
I mean...
He's fine.
All right. Vote now on your phones, I guess.
He's very cool. Worsley is a very cool character. He's like, yeah, I'm the Duke, and also I run the jail. Ayo.
I like the wait. This is the what is his name? Auron like style, or does he actually just have an extra sleeve? No, he doesn't.
Okay.
No, he's got a
realize
coat.
that this is such a small thing to grab onto.
Sure, man. What's up?
No,
But,
you're fine.
but I heard a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I would really like, and people who listen to this podcast, I want you to take this as a mission for you. A mission for you. Brian likes memes. I make memes. If you want bespoke memes, I do that. I don't often just like repost memes. I make them bold, fresh, delicious. And I just heard I run the jail.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, the phrase "I run the jail" seems to be a meme format in the making.
Okay.
So here's what I want you to do, people. I want you to find images that seems like it's appropriate, and then I want you to throw in some impact thought "I run the jail" on those images.
Oh my god.
You can find people with "I run the jail" energy and deliver. Okay, I run the jail. It's a meme waiting to happen.
Yeah, it was that guy, Rocky. Brian, Brian, I'm going to pause here for one moment. Brian, your audio is doubling. It's doing that thing again.
I don't run the jail.
I know you don't run the jail.
Yep. Just pop out and pop back in real quick.
Yeah, that's what fixed it last time.
Oh my god. You
waiting.
can see the caption on this image. It says Genshin Impact Zhongli definitely squats.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Does he?
Does he?
This guy?
That guy. That's
Welcome
the
back.
guy.
Brand, can we have a word?
I run the jail.
Congratulations, it fixed it. Perfect. I love technology. Anyway, he runs the jail. He's got handcuffs and everything on his character design. Look at that.
Oh my god.
They knew what they were doing. Anyway, so he also he's a magic user, right?
Okay.
So he does the books, right? That's his thing. But his magic is punching.
His magic's punching, and this is how you spell his name.
Yeah, it's Risley.
Risley? Risley.
Yeah, Risley.
Brian, do you see this combination of letters in our chat right now?
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is this?
Apparently it's
Risley.
Risley. That's what it is. It's called Risley.
Yeah, he's cool.
I have to trust you, Teagues. Like,
Yeah.
I know that he's a tall male. I know that much. He uses a catalyst, apparently.
Yeah.
Teagues says he's cool. So
yeah, he does the
Correct.
magic. Magic users are the catalyst users. But his magic is punching. Like when he attacks, he gets a big metal fist on his fit. He puts like big metal gauntlets on, essentially, and does like Vi punching magic.
Okay.
I don't know how that works, but okay. And then like he'll stop punching, and then the book will just appear next to him. It's so stupid. Anyway, so he knows you're here because Nuvalet asked you to be here, and you didn't really do a crime. Okay. So like he kind of is letting you like get away with some stuff that he wouldn't otherwise let you get away with. And he also knows that these the twins are working for the Fatui, and they also didn't really do a crime. And so he's also watching them do whatever they're doing. And we learn some terrible things. We learn some cool things, and then we learn some terrible things. The first thing that we learn that's cool is that actually the jail is a boat.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that you did not know that the jail was a boat before you got to the jail?
The jail is underwater. The jail's at the bottom of the ocean.
It's also a boat.
It's also a boat. They told us we eventually like get into the inner workings of it, and he goes, "This is actually a boat." And you're like, "Cool. What do you mean this is a boat?" And he goes,
"What do you mean?"
He goes, "Well, with the idea, like the prophecy, right? That the waters will rise and everyone will turn into seawater, right? So, we've been operating under the assumption that is true the entire time, and we have just been spending the last 200 years building the biggest boat ever. and making sure it's completely watertight. And what better way to test that it's completely watertight than putting it under the ocean?
All right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Grand. Perfect. And then you find out also that one, he knew about everything. Because, like, Lenny goes and he's like, I'm going to do a confrontation. And you're like, okay, and we're going to go with you to make sure you don't do anything stupid. And he tries to attack Worsley. And then the fucking Melusine nurse shoots him in the neck with a dart gun.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
She's like, yeah, I'll murder for the Duke. And it's like, what? And she's like, don't worry, I just drugged you. It's fine. It's just like, what is happening? And then you find out that Worsley has actually also, like, quote unquote kidnapped Lenny's sister from, like, the regular jail population because he wanted to get Lenny to, like, come talk to him because he knew that they worked for the Fatui and they weren't actually here on, like, a real jail crime. And he's like, also, we know your brother tried to sneak out into the ocean, but he hasn't come back yet, and that's weird. Like, we know where he tried to sneak out. Don't know why he didn't come back, though. That's weird. And we're like, okay. And then you get to do a jump cut where you get to play as Freminet for a little bit, and you go out and you're, like, swimming out into the ocean, and you're like, yeah, this is just straight up the ocean. What is happening? And then you're like, oh, the ocean is hurting me now for reasons that I don't understand. I need to get back to the jail, actually, or I'm going to die. And you do almost die.
Okay.
And then one of the cops, named Clarend, like, gets you out of the water, like, at the last possible minute. And it turns out you've ingested a ton of primordial seawater because it turns out the primordial sea is right outside the jail and nobody knew.
Nobody knew?
Nobody knew.
This is what happens.
Yeah, right? So the concentration of primordial seawater outside the jail is high enough that the jail is now very, very convinced that the primordial sea is actively rising. And also, by the way, they're on top of the valve that keeps all the primordial seawater where it's supposed to be. So wherever it's leaking out of is additionally a problem. This is great. I love Genshin Impact. Everything makes so much sense all the time. So we have to go get Neuvillette, right? But first, we have to check in on the seal. So we all go downstairs, you and Worsley and Clarend, and everybody is in the jail, and you're just like, it'll be fine. You guys hang out. We're gonna go check on the seal. You go down below the seawater, below the seawater, below, to near where the boat is being stored. The boat that is also a jail. And it turns out, the primordial seawater has completely busted through the seal, and actually we have to shut these giant double Titanic doors, to like, I mean, like the doors that they had on the Titanic for, like, that made the ship unsinkable or whatever. Like, we have to do that. We have to shut those things, like 4 of them. And then we have to freeze them shut. And then we're going to leave Worsley and Clarend, who are both from Fontaine, standing here outside this door to make sure that the primordial seawater doesn't come through. Because if they fail, they'll die. And so will everyone else in the jailboat underwater. And also the rest of Fontaine, apparently. And then we get to take a break. And we get to do literally anything else. But what they want you to do, they're like, okay, you can leave jail now, but you have to go get Neuvillette. And you're like, cool. And you can leave jail, and you can do whatever you want. And so I fucked around, right? I did a bunch of other quests, did some overworld stuff. I did the newspaper event that was going on because I could. And then I went and got Neuvillette. And I said, hey, Neuvillette, the jail's flooding. And it's underwater, and it's flooding with primordial seawater. We gotta go. And he went, cool, I'll be right there. And then he put a cool dragon seal on top of the water in the thing. He, like, pushed it. It was a whole cutscene. It was very cool, where he just, like, walks in, and, like, it's like Moses parting the Red Sea, except he's just pushing it back into where it's, into, like, the tank it's supposed to be in. And then he puts a big old dragon magic seal on it, and he's like, cool, that's done. You don't have to stay in jail anymore. And then everyone can leave. And we don't know where Child is still. who swam out into the ocean, but nobody else can go. No one can go into the ocean because the ocean's full of primordial seawater, so we don't know where he went still. Tune in next week where we'll find out what happened. And that's it. That's 4.1.
Okay.
I haven't started the last part of the Archon quest because everything is going to be sad. I already know. It's going to be a problem. Many problems afoot. We get to fight the whale that is the constellation that Child uses, which is also apparently how he got his hydro vision. Next. It'll be good. But yeah, that's what I've been doing in Genshin Impact. There's a lot happening. We're in the second half of the 4.2 banner run now, which means we're in the second in like a week or two. They're gonna announce like, hey, we're gonna do the 4.3 update, and we'll tell you like loosely what kind of storylines we're gonna be following and that kind of stuff, and like what special events will be happening and whatever. But yeah, everything is bad. Everything in Fontaine is turning very bad. Like Sumeru and Liyue, they had their own stories, but they weren't like Sumeru's was like, oh, it turns out that the government that controls the chips that we all put in everybody's brain so that no one has to actually learn anything. You can just look it up if you want at any time. It turns out they're also inserting false information into people's heads, and that's bad. Shrug. That was like that was what that storyline was. And also all of that information is tied into the world tree, which records the history of the entire universe. And if you delete something from the world tree, you delete it from the memory of every living person on the planet, which was its own thing. That was like the Sumeru story, and like the Liyue story was like, oh, the god is tired of being a god and would like to retire, like essentially. And this one is like, hey, the world is ending, but only for this country.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. It's so sad. And like, I've started the storyline, and it's basically told me so far that Furina became the god after the last Hydra Archon. So she's only been the Hydra Archon for 500 years. And she's not the Hydra Archon that created life and therefore punished the people of Fontaine. She's the Hydra Archon who came after her. And she has been spending that entire 500-year time span trying to figure out how to keep the people of Fontaine from turning back into seawater. But she sure doesn't act like it. She acts like literally the greatest showman. Like, she's just like, a round of applause for me. I am here. Hello, everything is fine. But like, she doesn't act like any of the other Archons do, which is kind of neat and kind of counterintuitive, you know? I know I'm interesting to see how anything she has done will have serviced the people in a way that will keep them alive from this rising seawater, which is definitely a thing that's happening. Yeah.
I mean, if she's literally a god, wouldn't she just like Deus Ex Machina it?
I mean, kind of, but that's not necessarily how the gods work in Teyvat.
That's fair.
Like, you'd think you could Deus Ex Machina, but what they've set up essentially is so Fontaine is the country of justice, right? And they have a machine that was built by Furina, allegedly. I don't know if I believe it. And that's the Oratrice Mécanique d'Annelise Cardinal.
I did it.
Yeah, you did it. We got there.
Okay, good.
And the Oratrice Mécanique d'Annelise Cardinal is the thing that embodies justice. It's the thing that decides, that gives the rulings on all of the court things that happen in Fontaine. There's one justice in Fontaine, it's Neuvillette. He presides over the court proceedings, but really what he does is he just kind of facilitates it. And then he reads out whatever the Oratrice's judgment is. And allegedly, the Oratrice has never made an incorrect judgment. Which is why Lenny being found innocent for the murder thing from 20 years ago made sense. But Child being found guilty for the same murder thing after we found a different man guilty was weird. Because he also was not in Fontaine 20 years ago, so that doesn't make any sense. And we already knew who did it. So, anyway, but it's the people don't believe in Farina. She's treated like a celebrity. The people believe in the Oratrice Mécanique d'Annelise Cardinal. So Farina doesn't have like a ton of power. She's just immortal and unaging.
Okay.
Because all of the people's faith isn't going to her to like give her power. It's going to the Oratrice. And I don't know what the Oratrice is doing other than, you know, facilitating funny objection trial stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
She sits and she watches like all of the stuff, and she'll do commentary for the people's entertainment, but like she doesn't do anything, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that.
So yeah, that's what's going on in Genshin so far. It's about to be really sad. I can already tell it's gonna be sad. Can't wait to cry. Why am I gonna cry? I don't know. But you know, anyway. Other than that, I played some Bear and Breakfast and it was cute.
Hey.
I'm a bear and I'm working for an inflatable shark doing camp setup stuff.
Are we done with Genshin? Are we done with Genshin?
Yeah.
Am I marked safe?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
For now, for this week. You know, because I haven't continued the rest of the storyline. There's just so much happening in Genshin.
No, the bear had breakfast. The bear was
No, the bear is opening a bed and breakfast.
Okay, yes.
Bed and breakfast. Yeah, I turned a shack into a little like it's got an outhouse, so it doesn't have a toilet inside. But it has like a little bed and a little living room. And it's cute. And people come hang out and give me 5 stars because I made it cozy and I clean up after them. And then I renovated a motel. And that does have bathrooms inside it, but they are shared bathrooms. It's not like an ensuite sort of situation. And I'm trying to like work towards unlocking the next area where I will have to renovate a different building to turn it into a little hotel kind of situation. It's up by the lake. It has a boathouse. And like this area gets to have a dining room, which is new, where I have to make sure to put food out for guests and stuff. The other two places do not. They're kind of like bring your own, you know?
Okay.
But it's cute. The writing is very silly. The area is very well like defined, I want to say. The expectations are manageable for the amount of time that I've like invested in upgrading my different situations. And like getting the nicer like beds and that sort of thing is fun, but not like a requirement. Like it let me open up this motel with like literally it was a wood bucket with a spigot attached to it, and it's like, that's a bathtub. And I was like, I don't think it's a bathtub, but okay. So, and I've recently updated them to real bathtubs. It's a real proper bathtub with a nice toilet and a sink and a towel rack.
Man, I wish I had a real bathtub. That could be nice.
I also wish I had a real bathtub. My bathtub's so small. Tiny bathtub for children, not for adults. Anyway. But Bear and Breakfast is very cute. Very funny. I'm enjoying it. It was a good pickup. It's a good like casual game, I think. You know? And then I also played a little to the left, which is just like an organizing game. It's sort of like unpacking, but there's less story, if that makes sense. It's just like putting stuff in order. And sometimes I couldn't figure out how they wanted me to organize stuff. That makes sense. Like, I could see like the bones of the outline of like, I think this is what they want, and then I do it, and it'd be like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, okay, I'll reorganize these jars a different way, I guess. And there were a couple times where I was just like, I have to look up how they want me to organize these jars because I'm not doing it right. Like there was like a series of books, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna put them like smallest to tallest, and it was like, yeah, that's correct. And then I was looking at them when I was almost done organizing them smallest to tallest. I was like, wait a minute. The bottoms of these have like a little filigree like design on them. What if instead I made a pattern out of the design? And so I reorganized all the books so that like the design lined up, and it was like, yeah, that works. And I was like, okay, that's fun. You know? So like some of them, it was like, I can see the multiple ways that I could figure this one out. And sometimes it was like, I have no idea. The jars are colors, and I put the jars together so all the colors overlap, and it doesn't make any sense. Why won't it let me do it? It's like, because that's not what I wanted you to do. But it worked. I don't know. Well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know a little to left had a bit of that for sure. I did like that there were multiple solutions. I like the multiple solutions, but I agree that they weren't always intuitive.
Yeah. But it was fun. And they did the best thing in the credits that I've ever seen, and I want more people to do this. In the credits for the game, they like listed all the people, and then they also put in drawings of everyone's pets.
That's right.
I love that. I was just like, oh my god, look at all these cats. Oh my god, look at these good dogs. And then it was occasionally like a bird, a goat, and I was like, oh my god, these are so good.
I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Is that better than the Nier Automata credit sequence?
Oh, where I get to shoot everybody's play data into oblivion?
Right.
No. It's just different.
Okay.
I think Nier Automata is perfect for what that game is. But since this game is about like doing a home together with people, and like your cat sometimes messing up the thing that you're setting up, having everyone's pets in the credits was very appropriate. And I want more little games to do that, you know? Like I would have liked if Unpacking was like all of these people and all of their like all the family support that they had, and like listed out everybody's family member who was like supportive of their efforts or whatever, you know? Like I think that would have been appropriate for that.
All right.
I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, that's basically what I've been playing. I'm still playing Project Sekai. I'm still playing that stupid water pouring game that I can't stop. And I did pick up the My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Pirates of the Disturbance game. But I don't think I'm allowed to stream it, which is sad. So I might just have to play that one on my own, even though I really wanted to stream it because it looked funny.
I think it's going to be funny. I hope you have fun.
I also think it's going to be funny, and I want to stream it. But I don't. The warning screen scared me, where they were like, "If you don't have permission to stream this game, don't. We're gonna yell at you." And I'm like, I don't want to be yelled at. No, I don't want to be yelled at. I don't want to get in trouble. You know, I didn't do anything. Just a little guy, and I just want to play a game. So instead, I ended up playing a lot of Splatoon this week. We did Big Run. It was good. And there's going to be a Frosty Fest. That's also going to be good.
True.
I can't wait. We're going to have to pick a team when the teams are announced.
Yeah, team milk cookies and, I don't know, candy canes or something.
Yeah, something. I think it's going to be more New Year's themed. I think it's going to be like a New Year's Splatfest. I don't think it's going to be a December, like Christmas themed one. The costumes that they put the idols in felt more like New Year's masquerade party than general Christmas theme thing. That's you know.
Also, I'm trying to remember the holiday party and holiday. That wasn't a masquerade, right? That was just like a holiday party.
Yeah, I think that was just a holiday party.
Okay, just want to remember that. Fucking holiday. Ryan, you didn't talk about Cat Person. Do you want to?
Well, sometimes I wander onto this podcast with a recommendation for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I come onto this podcast and say, please, for the love of God, no matter what you do, don't see this movie.
Oh, okay.
This is that one.
Okay.
Noted.
Cat person is like what would happen if I asked Chat GPT to write a feminist thriller.
Oh. All right.
It is. Yep. The noises, the tone you are conveying, they are right. It is. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is. I like what definitely I didn't have a great time. But you know what? I think the vibes here are good, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna dig in. I'm not gonna reopen that wound. I'm just gonna say, people, avoid that wound. Have at it. If you want more details, hit up your boy.
This is definitely one way to do it.
Yeah. 1 star.
Is it copyrightable? Because it's written by ChatGPT.
No, it's like it was written by ChatGPT. It's different. Not actually written by ChatGPT.
Gotcha. Okay. It's as though. I see. Mm-hmm. Got it.
Right. Yeah. That's the one. Rocky, is that a show?
Yeah, seems fine. Hey, thank you for hanging out. This has been the Impossible Quinn podcast. If you were here live, I guess tell your friends or whatever. And if you weren't, maybe look into our Discord a little bit. And as always, there's music at the beginning and end of the show. Oh, should that be live? I'll figure that out later. But it's produced by Big Sach. You can find him on Bandcamp at betweenrooms.bandcamp.com with his band. But he also has a page at soundcloud.com at soundcloud.com/Big Sach NJ. And speaking of SoundCloud, we're not friends with them, but we do also have a logo and a t-shirt that was designed by Lauren Moran. You could find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran. And I can't remember. I think we established that she was on Blue Sky before. I don't quite remember. But she does have a Patreon. And so check her out because she does really good stuff. Way better stuff than honestly we deserve. So we're just happy we got away with the logo. We are on social media, basically everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky. Not TikTok yet. Maybe TikTok someday. We'll figure that out. And that's us for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.